Once upon a time, there was a girl named Amy Addict who recently transferred to Sky High School, where she met 6 new friends. First, she met Narcotic Nancy, who was always willing to help people through painful situations. Within the first few days, Amy Addict felt like she needed Narcotic Nancy more and more. Amy Addict thought about Narcotic Nancy all the time and felt as though it was hard to ever forget about Narcotic Nancy. The more Amy Addict hung out with Narcotic Nancy, the more Amy Addict's grades fell. So she decided to move on to Sedative Samuel. Sedative Samuel was always sleeping in class, but when he was awake, he was always a positive person, and that's why Amy Addict liked Sedative Samuel. However, after really getting to know Sedative Samuel, Amy Addict became obsessed with Sedative Samuel's presence and calming abilities. But she had to move on because she began having emotional mood swings and becoming very sleepy. So she decided to move on to Stimulant Sully. Stimulant Sully was always hyped up and never wanted the party to end. Amy Addict was hooked immediately, but more for his excited, energetic personality than for his appearance. The more she hung out with Stimulant Sully, the faster her heart raced, and the less she ate, the more irritable she became. So she decided it was time to move on to Alcohol Artie. Alcohol Artie was always really fun to be around in the beginning. He always did things without thinking about the consequences. But as the day dragged on, he became less and less happy. By the end of the day, Alcohol Artie was a crying mess. At first, Amy Addict thought it was annoying, but over some time, she began to need him. But then she began to get depressed like him too, so she decided it was time to move on to Cannabis Corey. Cannabis Corey was always very relaxed and chill. Over time, Amy Addict gradually became more tolerant of Cannabis Corey. However, Amy Addict still loved talking to Cannabis Corey on the phone, but her mouth soon became very dry. She began to eat a lot more, and she began to forget the simplest things. So she decided it was time to move on to Hallucinogenic Haley. Hallucinogenic Haley was always talking to people she couldn't see. At first, Amy Addict thought it was weird, but over some time, she began to become intrigued by Hallucinogenic Haley. Amy Addict didn't want to be seen with her, but every now and then, she liked to listen to Hallucinogenic Haley's conversations. The more she listened to Hallucinogenic Haley, the more paranoid and anxiety-ridden Amy Addict became. In the end, Amy Addict decided to transfer to Endorphin High School, where everything just came naturally.